Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Art of Braids podcast. I'm your host, Karen Tenord, and I'm excited about today's guest. We're talking about a topic I hear about all the time, using content to help promote and fund your brand. And today's guest is Jessica Barnes, co founder of the amazing brand GRTR Management. And since today's topic is about using content to help promote and fund your brand, who better to talk about it? So I remember like before Instagram and all the social media platforms, I would go ahead and I would just like interview people using just audio. But I started finding out that like with uh different platforms like YouTube and things like that, I was recording and people love to see your face. People love to hear like realness, right? So from that, people were able to engage with me. They supported me, and when they see me in the street, they're like, "Oh my God, that's you!" And then when social media came around, and I started putting myself on Instagram and Facebook, the connection grew, and it also helped to build my brand as a braider, as just a brand in general. So I won't make you wait any longer. Let's welcome Jessica Barnes. Thank you, Jessica, for joining us today. Your time and your brand are very important to us. I'm excited to have you here. But
Thank you.
before you're welcome. But before we get started, I know you, but my audience, I want you to kind of like introduce yourself to the listeners and tell your story because we all have a story. And I want you to talk about your background and what it is you do in your business.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Karen, for having me. Always sharing your platform with other women like me, entrepreneurial and just go-getters. I really appreciate you for having me on the show. My name
Welcome.
is Jessica Barnes, and I am the co-founder of GRTR Management, which is a creative consultancy agency that focuses on branding and speaking partnerships. Under branding, we do digital marketing, creative consultancy, as far as like marketing and all things digital content, and also curating, whether it's like small businesses, we help them amplify their business by visuals. We also do a lot of like photo shoots for our clients, as well as walking them through what it is to start small and amplify social media to promote your business. Um, Prior to being, a marketer and the founder of GRTR Management, my background is in broadcast journalism. I started at Radio Disney, which was my breakthrough in the radio field. But I've also worked with numerous television and radio stations, worked with MTV, worked with La Mega, which is another radio station, Univision, just to name a few of where my foundation started, and my entrepreneurial go-getter ambition started. And then after that, I created my own show about 6 years ago where I had the opportunity to bring entrepreneurs on board. And I just wanted to showcase them in a positive light. Especially being in New York, you come across so many talented people that I felt that there was a niche for emerging artists and for entrepreneurs to share their story through my platform at the time. Fast forward, I met my husband and we were kind of doing similar work. So we merged companies, and that's how we birthed GRTR Management.
Wow.
Um, and now, we've produced, self-published about 10 books under GRTR Management. We help other people to self-publish their books. We walk them through what it is to, self-publish as far as like copywriting. We help edit their books. We help with everything that has to do with branding a book. Um, I myself have published three self children books, which are beautiful bilingual self-educational books that are targeted to the audience of, I would say 1 year old to 5.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's been a fruitful journey. I'm still, a go-getter, still very entrepreneurial, still, hustling on the side as I have my, 9 to 5. I work at Meta as a partner solutions manager on the creator partnerships covering sports and also music. So
Oh,
I'm doing pretty much, marketing within and advocating within a company for people like us who don't have these opportunities within these platforms. I'm still fighting for our Black and brown people
listen.
to be here, but also not missing the essence of like my brand within a corporation like this, because I'm still representing greater, I'm still representing who I am. So that's always super valuable to me.
Wow. Okay, so y'all hear Jessica has a long list of things that she is a part of. And that's what she's doing actually. So, all right. So thank you so much for sharing
Thank
about
you.
the topic. We're gonna go into the topic at hand, which is using content to help promote and fund your brand. As a braider, people don't think about like content. They're thinking about braiding the person's hair and getting it over with. A lot of people have been tapping into doing videos and things like that. They just kind of put it out, but I don't think they understand about, monetizing it.
Mm.
Um, like I mean, sometimes I'm kind of like, wait, how? So I would want to say, what social media do you highly recommend to boost your brand?
This is such a great question because it's so aligned to what I do. First of all, I want to make sure that people are aware that there is different types of social media platform, and you shouldn't stick to just one. You know, for us, even like for Greater Management, most of our clientele is on Facebook. That doesn't necessarily mean that I should disregard Facebook and only post on Instagram. So first, I want you guys to like test out what platforms work for you and where does your audience live. I know most of the time we're so focused on one platform, and that could sometimes be detrimental to where our audience live. Once you identify that, then I would choose Facebook. Honestly, is one of the best platforms to monetize. You have business manager accounts where you can add admins besides yourself. If you have any interns or anyone that you trust, right, as a trust fund, trustee.
Mhm.
And I totally think that Facebook is a great platform to educate yourself on monetization. So I would choose Facebook for sure.
No. Well, thank you. There you have it. I haven't really utilized Facebook like that. So now I'm gonna have to look Facebook. I was like an Instagram, the shop and stuff like that. So okay, Facebook. All
Yeah, because
right.
I mean, you have the business manager. It allows you to see like your audience in detail. It allows you to also get certain metrics that you normally don't get within Instagram or any other platforms. I think it's just a wider audience and it's more global if you are thinking to reach a global audience. But if you're also focused on like local audience, it is a great way to create ad spends and target a specific audience within Facebook.
I want to say that Facebook did give me a good reach. It was an authentic reach to
Mhm.
Germany, right? Like I had a client book me from Germany and fly out to New York through Facebook, and I was like, wait,
I'm telling you, you
yeah.
will be
So
surprised. You'll be
so
surprised.
the reach is good. So okay, so how did you use social media to inspire you to create content surrounding your brand?
Wow, how did I use social media to inspire me to create content?
Mhm.
So let's backtrack because when I was in radio, this was 2010, and people started using Instagram, and there was no video on Instagram. Like we didn't have reels. and nobody really knew my face. Everybody just heard my voice on the radio. So that to me was a little bit limiting. As now, fast forward, I see people hosting shows on Instagram, and there's no need for you to be in the booth when you can just get on IG Live or like Facebook Live and these other platforms. So I think that the inspiration really comes from connecting with my audience. I get inspired by a lot of things. I think from my personal brand, I get inspired to just be the creative that I am. Like, I'm into fashion, I'm into sneakers, I'm into hosting, and I'm into really being a voice for my generation, especially for like Black Latinas who don't necessarily, look like the everyday Latina who speaks Spanish. That is my inspiration. When I go on the platform, I'm very intentional as what I want to showcase. And as someone who loves to inspire, I always need to think about, how do I fuel my inspiration? So I listen to a lot of podcasts. I love this podcast called She Did That, as well as your podcast, of course, Karen, because you always have incredible people on here. So yeah, that's how I fuel my inspiration on a daily basis.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. And okay, yeah, thank you for listening to my podcast. So there you go.
Shout out.
Um, all right. So we didn't really touch on ways people can actually monetize
Mhm.
on the social media. Like, how do they, let me just like formalize it. What are ways one can monetize um with the social media? I know we spoke about the business manager and things like that, but how would one get started in monetizing?
Yeah. So I would say, first of all, like, what is it that you want to monetize? Like, do you have a product? Do you create content every week? Is it consistent content? So I would start off identifying like a series of things that you want to monetize, and making sure that you have everything set up on the platform that you want to monetize, if that answers your question.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that they'll start Googling like, oh, okay, am I consistent? Do I got products? Like, can I make money off of just videos? Which is something that I definitely think can be done.
Mm-hmm.
When you join I think there's a creators tool. Um,
Yeah, there's so many different ways as well. Like you mentioned, research. Google is your best friend. There is different programs within like different corporations. I know within Instagram, we have different funded programs that literally are listed if you Google and you go to like the creator partnerships tab on Facebook. That's a way to monetize, right? Also, like, I know platforms like Amazon, they have programs that are focused on influencers. So I think it's really finding your niche and really finding, okay, if I want to work with this specific brand, can I monetize through creating videos, or can I monetize through being a part of these funded programs that these brands have for influencers and for people who create on different platforms.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, now we then spoke on the monetization and the different platforms that offer partnerships or um just how to make money or products, right?
Mhm.
Um, what are some tools? Because I know you're really good with content, right?
Oh my
So,
God.
what are some tools that you could recommend to fine tuning content? Because content is key, and it's like to be clear to all of that part. Because I feel
Yeah.
like you have like a creative eye, um, but you
Right.
may have some dope tools.
I also, I have like some editing background. Um, when I went to college, I did video arts and technology. So I have some editing skills that I must say it's not totally advanced, but it's intermediate. It's there. It's working now.
It's
Now I
it's
get like
doing
why
what
I
it's
had to take
doing.
that course. But yeah, there's a lot of editing tools. I love Canva. I love Splice. I have them all. I have Unfold. Also, because I have, my day job and then I'm working on my business on weekends, I love using Planoly to schedule my posts. And I use Story Art, Video Shop. Literally, you can look at different editing tools by going to your app store and looking at, do I want like pre templates that I can create stories with. You can literally type in templates for stories on your app store and you will get so many different versions of apps that provide templates for your Insta stories. Or you can type in, I want to create, I want the best tools for short form videos. And literally the app will give you a list of so many editing versions. So that's how I look up. Also, I look up at different, like, what are the top influencers doing right now? And I literally go to their Instagrams and I'm like, oh, that's a cool video. I wonder if I can remake that by utilizing my own tools that I already have pre-saved on my phone. And I always give it my own twist. So those are the type of things that I use to create content, as well as Pinterest. I am obsessed with Pinterest. I love Pinterest so much.
Yeah, I have not
Like
really used
I
Pinterest.
this is
I,
like
I
my
I'm going to.
source of organizing my creative juices. Like Pinterest is my best friend. I literally have mood boards for everything, from like what type of photo shoots do I want to create for the month, to like nail art, to like, ideas as far as, greater management, like what does like the next, quarter look like for the brand. I create mood boards for everything and I make it happen through the mood boards.
Wow.
Or like if I have an idea for an Insta story and I'm like, oh, I want to kind of give like, some throwback music. Like I'll list out some of the artists that I want to list out throughout the week that are related to throwback songs. And that's like my source of inspiration. I'll pull the photos from my Pinterest, then upload them into like the template for my Insta stories. But
The whole
yeah,
science.
that's like, it's just like the best way to organize your ideas, especially if you're a creative and your mind is always flowing.
Listen, listen, like getting into that creative mindset and
Oh yeah.
staying there is like,
Oh yeah.
oh my
It
God.
is
And it's
it is
so
the best.
much.
Yeah.
I'm
It
like,
is
oh
the
my
best.
God, that's great. That's an inspiration. Let me do this. Um,
Especially for you. Like I literally have like makeup inspo, I have hairstyle inspo, I have streetwear fashion inspo. And I literally from there I start planning the content that I want to produce
wow.
um on a daily basis.
Okay, well, the listeners are listening, and I'm also taking in this because I'm like 2023 got to be we got to step it up. We got to create content that is worth monetizing and for other people who are worth like listening and also building up awareness. Because I'm pretty sure the algorithm on social media and platforms are pushing good quality videos um, with something that you have to say. So as a braider, like you have something to say, and I want to say, hmm, well, I can't think, I can't
Let's
think of.
not overthink it. And I think for people like us who are constantly creating, I think sometimes, we overthink content and we just don't understand that, you know, especially like this generation coming up, people just want, you know, easy access to what Karen is doing, what Jess is doing. And, you know, sometimes we have so much content in our, like, I literally have 10,000 photos.
I
And
don't I don't deny. I mean, I can see that. Like,
I have so much content in my phone that I can just reproduce this content and create, I don't know, valuable content. For example, let's say I have a video of me in Dominican Republic by the beach. I could literally repurpose this content, this video on a reel and add some caption like, oh, this is what it is to be you know, an entrepreneur on a day off. You know, that's like valuable content that people will be able to connect with.
right.
So just like, you know, thinking about your caption, thinking about your ideas, and how do you want to convey your message? Like, what's that message that you want to tell your, you know, your
Yeah,
audience?
yeah, telling a story almost every day. Um, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to tell you, um, before we wrap up, I like to ask my guests a few questions, right? To end on a positive high. It's three questions. Three questions. I only got three questions for you.
Three questions. Okay, good.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Ready? Okay. So what is your favorite go-to braided hairstyle and why? Is there a book that you can recommend that would be great for any starting entrepreneur? And three, what are new products, projects, and events you would like to give us the tea on?
Oh, wait. Okay. So number one is, what is my go-to hair braiding
Hair
go-to
braid style.
hair?
Mhm.
Oh, my go-to hair braid style. Oh my gosh, I have to say cornrows. Classic cornrows with the baby hairs. That's like my go-to. I love it. Like cornrows are so classic to me.
It is.
So classic. You can rock it with a beautiful, elegant dress and
Or you
you'll
could dress
still
it
spark
down.
some. Yeah, you could dress it down and it still gives black girl magic. Like
Okay. All right. Cornrows. All right. How much? Big cornrows, small cornrows? Like, what is it?
medium-sized cornrows.
Medium? Okay.
Yeah, medium size.
All right. I'll be seeing you with that. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's
my favorite.
simple.
But it also is like, girl, you can slay. You can slay with some cornrows.
So the second, is there a book that you would recommend for um a starting entrepreneur?
Oh, book that I would recommend. I would say The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is an incredible book.
Mhm.
Um, oh my gosh, I feel like this book really, really changed my life. It really did. It is a book. If you're in the midst of really finding your true purpose, like you're trying to find your inner being, I think it is a great way to start before you even plan on creating a business. It's called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I read it many years ago, and it's just about like fulfilling your dreams and reaching your goals. And I think that it walks you through it just walks you through a beautiful journey of really understanding life and having perspective. Um, and like really, really gathering like your dreams and your goals and just being realistic and grounded.
Mm. Is it something like letting go and just kind of focusing on what you really need, like kind of like that?
Yes, but it also talks about like this man who goes into the wilderness and he's trying to find, you know, his purpose at 50 years old. He goes into the wilderness, he becomes a monk, and you know, even before entering this new journey of, you know, this new chapter, he realizes that he has to change his ways. Like he has to change his habit of eating. Through this process of becoming a monk, he, becomes like this brand new person. He is now like a brand new person that doesn't even look his age. He looks
Mm.
half his age because he was able to detach himself from doubt and fear and really find like his destiny.
Mm.
It's a
Okay.
really good book. It
The
really is.
monk who, like,
It's called A Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and it's by Robin S. Sharma.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. I hear
And
that.
then it's so crazy because this book is really about passion, purpose, peace. And there's something about this story that will literally make you feel super joyful, like super
Well,
joyful thought.
the joy that you're getting from explaining it, like I can see it. Like I'm gonna go read the book because I'm
Yeah,
like, you're like,
yeah. You have to read it. It's really good. And honestly, like it's one of those books that I feel like you should reread every year, entering a new year.
got you. All right. And then the last one is, are there any new projects, events, or products that you want to tell us about?
Yes. So new projects, we definitely have the authors collab tour coming up on March 17th and April 15th.
15.
Follow me on social media because you'll be able to see more details on the authors collab tour, which I'm super excited in collaboration with my sister friend Karen.
Yay.
Um, yeah, it's gonna be amazing. We are going to gather, beautiful people together to support Black-owned businesses and promote our books and also be a vessel for other people who really want to become self-published authors. That's what it's about.
Hey, okay.
Yeah,
That's so
working on that. What else? My husband and I, we have some things cooking up, for greater management, some features that are going and articles that are going to be released, and working really heavy on promoting greater management and producing content through greater so that we can amplify ourselves through the platform and connect with other like-minded entrepreneurs and help them succeed.
well, congrats. I'm waiting for all of that. And I mean, that is aligned with the topic, right? Like you utilizing the content to help promote your brand, especially greater management and your
Yeah.
books, right?
Yes.
Because it's plural. So
Yes, it's
yes,
plural.
so it's Adventures of Susanna. Um, and I believe there's three different titles, right?
Yes, there's three different titles. The first book is called The Adventures of Susana, A Day at the Park, Un Día en el Parque, and it's a bilingual book. I wrote it in Spanish and in English. The second one is The Positive Alphabet, and the third one is Numbers book. So it's all a collective, series where I walk children through, their first words, their first numbers, how to be kind to one another, and also how to connect with their culture and to be able to do that through a character who's a black little girl who so happens to speak Spanish and wants to feel connected and wants to learn how to speak Spanish. Um, so yeah, those are really the foundation of the Adventures of Susana series.
Uh-huh. All right, so go cop the book. I can't thank you enough for coming on the show and sharing your natural um and sharing why it's so important for individuals to monetize and promote their brands through content creation um and preparing for the show. So thank you so much for that. But before we wrap up, can you tell the audience about how they can find you, how they can contact you, and how they can continue to support?
Yeah, definitely. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, JSA Barnes. I'm more active on Instagram. I do feel like it's one of my favorite platforms. Shameless plug. So JSA Barnes, and then you can follow the business GRTR Management. That's GRTR Management on Instagram. And please feel free to check out the website, greatermanagement.com. I'm always happy to answer, questions. Even if it's about monetization, I'll be happy to dig deeper into any other questions that you guys have, because monetization is a very broad topic, and I wish we could cover all types of monetization, but I know the time is limited. But yeah, that's how you can contact me. And yeah, super happy to have this ongoing conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so blessed to have you here. Anytime I could get a little bit of your time, it's great, because I know you're super busy, in and out of meetings. So again, everybody, thank you so much. This is Jessica Barnes. I am Karen Tenard, and we are out, basically.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good one. Listen, such an amazing interview. To get more info, go to kaidetres.com/podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you got a lot from today. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and show back up. Okay, see you in a bit.